Bless Squad, what's going on with y'all, man? It's your boy, Blessed Applesauce, here to bless y'all with another video here on Blessed to Invest. And today we're going to talk about the top 10 worst places to invest in real estate, places you need to stay far away from. If you're in these cities, if you think about getting in these cities, stay away, don't go there. But before we get into this video, make sure you spam the like button, also sub down below for more content like this, because I'm giving y'all game on what to stay away from and why to stay away from these cities. So let's get into it. So starting out, we're going to start with a wonderful place, Madison, Wisconsin. And this one is kind of weird because properties have gone up 10% over in Madison, Wisconsin over the past year, 2021. But overall, when you're investing in this type of area, the rents are not that high. And also it has a high barrier to entry on average. The national average is going to be like around 200,000-ish range. This one is a lot higher, where they're in the $400,000 range. So for you average investors, people that just trying to get started, trying to put a little money down, it's going to be harder to get into this market. And then it's just going to be a low return on investment on top of that. But if you are already in this market, if you have property already, 10% isn't bad. If you're planning to like flip a property and not invest in it, not looking for more rental income, looking for more appreciation, this is an okay city to be in, but overall investing purposes is not that great. So stay away from Madison, Wisconsin. Is not the place to be. Next one is one that's not too far from me. I've been here a lot, and it's crazy that it's on this list. It's called Richmond, Virginia. Richmond, Virginia is number 9 on this list because, one, the population is not growing. Actually, it's on a decline, and a lot of people are not coming to the city as much. The job growth isn't there. Population is declining. Crime is starting to go up in this city. So it's a combination of a lot of things that you just don't want to see when you're investing in property. On top of that, the rental that you're going to get, the rent yield is not that high. So you're getting hit with job losses, job declining, population losing, and it's a whammy for just red flags. Stay away from the city. It's not growing. Nothing's going on there. If you look at a chart of Richmond, Virginia, everything is just completely flat. So when we're investing in property, we want to see growth, we want to see rental growth, we want to see job growth, and this is not the city where you want to be if you want to see any type of growth on your investment. Stay away. Next, we're going down south. We're going to Birmingham, Alabama. I'm surprised this is on the list, but thinking about it, I've actually had a couple of people I've talked to that have actually came out of Birmingham, Alabama. So to see this on the list is not really surprising. And the reason for this is they're having a huge decline of population. They've had 5% decline in population over the past year, which is kind of insane. A lot of places you're going to have maybe like 2% growth, 1% growth, or at least they're staying somewhat stagnant. But this is the worst one on the list based on population decline. That's not what you want to see. The jobs are not coming to this area. People are leaving. Crime is starting to go up, and people are making a mass exodus out. So if people are making a mass exodus out, you do not want to buy property there, so stay away. The weird thing about the city, though, the rent is actually decent. It's okay. Like, you're going to get an okay rate of return on your rent. If you hold the property for 10, 20 years, you're going to get an okay return. But I wouldn't feel comfortable with people leaving and the jobs being so iffy, because your rental income is only as good as the renters that you have in there. And if people are constantly leaving, even if it sits vacant for 6 months, that's no good. So stay away from Birmingham, Alabama. Next is an interesting one. This is the Warren Buffett's place, Omaha, Nebraska, which is, I'm surprised this is on the list. But the main reason why this is on the list is because it's not that great. The yield on properties rental wise is about 4%, which is, you're not going to get a good return on your money, good investment. The growth of the city is not that high. It's not going up. On average, the population is growing at 1.92, which is, it's okay, it's decent for a city, but overall investment wise, it's not really doing anything. You're gonna take a long time to get your money back. It's not growing rent wise. The housing market isn't growing, so you just want to stay away from this area just from an investment standpoint. But if you want to live there, cool. It seems like a halfway decent place to live. The crime isn't too bad, but growth-wise, we're trying to get invested. We're trying to invest. We're trying to grow our money, and we want to stay away from cities like this. Next one on the list is really interesting to me. I'm kind of surprised that this is on the list, and this is Portland, Oregon. And there's a couple of issues with Portland, Oregon. First off, the average property over there is $600K. So you're looking at a big barrier of entry for anybody that wants to buy property there. If you don't have 60 grand on top, don't even think about going to Portland, Oregon to buy property. That's number one. So it's a big barrier of entry for people that are looking to invest their money. Number two, the rent yield is really low. It's about 3% on a rent yield, and it's going to take you almost 30 years to pay off your mortgage if you have somebody renting the property. That's not what you want to see. On top of that, the homes aren't growing. So you're getting hit with the triple whammy. It's mad expensive. Homes aren't growing. The income, the equity in the home isn't growing that much. And then rent isn't going up at all. So it's a lose. Stay away from Portland, Oregon, which is interesting because I thought this would be a cool place because it's on the west side, but people don't really like it here. So stay away. But if you're already in it, maybe you want to sit there, maybe you got in early, do your thing there. But Portland, Oregon is not the place to be. Stay away. Next is, I'm a fan of this city. I like this city. I actually want to go here soon. This is Kansas City. This suffers from a similar problem as Portland, Oregon, but it's like a cheaper version of it. It's a cheaper version. The average properties are $366,000, but it suffers with the same problems that Portland, Oregon does. Rents aren't going up. It's going to take you a long time to get a return on your investment. It hits with basically the same numbers, where it's about 3% yield on your rental income, which is like you can get that somewhere in the stock market or something. You can get a lot better than that elsewhere. And it's going to take you a really long time for your house to appreciate. So you're getting hit with a double whammy. This is just the same issues in a different location. So don't go to Kansas City Chiefs. We'll see how they do this season. I'm excited to see football wise what they do, but don't buy property here. Next is Wachita. I can't even say it. Next is Wachita, Kansas. Excuse my language messing that one up. But this one it has a lot of different issues here. One, it suffers from that same problems that Richmond, Virginia did with the growth, and the population is on a decline. It's going about 1% down every year, which is not good. That means people are making a mass exodus out the city, and clearly I can't even pronounce it. So people don't want to be there. So that's one thing you don't want to see rental wise, people leaving the city. So that's dangerous. On top of that, the average rental, how much they pay per unit is $867, which is really, really low. And that's really the lowest I've seen on a lot of the different cities I was looking at. $867 is the average rent. With that, with the properties on average being $235,000, you're not getting a good yield on your money. Even though the average is lower for the property, the average for rent is really low. So you're getting cheap properties, cheap rent, and people are leaving the city. So if you want something cheap, you go here, but you're not going to get a good return on your money. So be careful of that. Just because something is cheap, that's a good lesson. Just because something is cheap doesn't mean it's always good. You need to look at how much you're getting a return on your money, even if you're buying cheaper property. So this is a good example of that in Kansas, where cheap doesn't always mean good because you're getting a low yield on your money. Next, let's switch it up and go something really expensive. So this one is another. This is y'all could probably guess. I could probably pause the video and y'all can guess where I'm going. We're going to California. California, one of the most expensive cities in all of America. The average home in San Jose, California is $1.4 million. $1.4 million. California is back on this list as well, by the way. It hits number one, just give y'all a heads up. But San Jose, California is not the place to be. $1.4 million for the average property. On top of that, the yield is the worst the worst on this list. You're going to get about 1% rent yield. Horrible. It's going to take you about 40 years to pay off your property. I wouldn't even touch this area. This is the place you go to just blow money. If you want to buy a property here, do it for fun. If you're looking to invest, stay away. You're literally blowing money buying property here if you're looking to invest. It's mad expensive. The population is growing a little bit, but not much. It's generally flat. It's this is really just a tourist city. People want to be here just for excitement, but you're not going to get a good return on your money. And the properties are 1.4 million on average, so most people can't even get into a $1.4 million home. So you're going to be taking out a lot of the people in this area where they can't even afford the house. So stay away from this place. San Jose, stay away. Really, to be honest, California, stay away. You don't want to invest in California as a whole. Next, we're looking at Bridgeport, Connecticut, and this has a population issue. Population's on a decline, and it's also expensive like California. These last three on the list are just super expensive. The average property is $986,000. Ooh, that's high. So you're dealing with population decline. Unlike with San Jose, California, at least population is going up. This one's on the decline. Properties are super expensive, and then you're getting a low yield on your rental income. So you're getting hit with a lose. Stay away from this place. You don't want to be here. Expensive is not always good. You don't need to be there. So yeah. And last but not least, the one we've been waiting for, the one y'all been wanting. What is the worst place to be? Where do you want to stay away and not invest in property? That is going to be LA, California. Stay away. I told you, LA, California is back on the list. Horrible place to invest in invest your money property wise. I know this is where a lot of the big stars are. A lot of people say, oh, California is so great. Yes, it might look great, but you can't just look at a place and say, okay, it looks cool. This is dealing with the issue one, population decline, which is interesting because people make it seem like it's such a great place, but people are making an exit out of California, an exit out of LA, and the average home in this area is 1.1 million. So you're gonna take out a lot of people that have decent incomes, average incomes, that just can't afford properties like this. So you're really gonna be marketing to the ultra rich, and you're gonna have to charge them a lot, giving them a lot of amenities to really boost your rental, your average rent income, and it's just not gonna happen on average. You can get something better elsewhere. So for real, moral of the story, stay away from California. It comes up too many times on this list. People do not like investing property. People don't like renting out to make a decent amount of money in California property. So stay away from there. That's the moral of the story here. But that is the top 10 list. Did anything on this list surprise you? Were you thinking something else was going to pop up on this list? Did I name a city that you live in? You're like, oh man, I got to get out of this city. Maybe I got to invest virtually. Let me know down in the comment section down below. But that's going to wrap it up. It's been your boy, Blessed Applesauce. Stay blessed. And I'm going to see y'all next time on Blessed to Invest.
Just to see tomorrow is a blessing. Stay prayed up is the message. Everything about a nigga blessed. Everything about a nigga blessed.